All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another session on this Python series that we're doing. We are doing a special Python series session where we help you do some really cool mini projects in Python. So that's what we're going to do with us. And so the first thing that I'm going to ask everybody to do is just wait till we do a little bit of mic testing. So I just ask my team to tell me if they can hear me. All right, they can hear me. Great. I hope all of you can hear us. So as usual, before I start, the first thing that you want to do is make sure you check on the right hand side. There's a chat on the right hand side. So if you check the chat on the right hand side, you can say hello, say hi, so that we know that you're watching. My team is online and they will answer any and every doubt that you have. And if your doubt isn't answered right away, then I will answer them at the end of this session. So any doubts that you have regarding to careers in Python, what is the syllabus for Python, how do I do mini projects in Python, all of that we will answer today. So without much delay, I'm going to start talking about the mini series or the mini project that we are going to cover today in Python. But just before that, just two things that I want you all to have a look at. Number one is, if you can check if you can please subscribe to this channel, then you will be able to get all of the notifications of our remaining sessions that we're going to do. So do subscribe. Tomorrow and day after, we're doing a really important session on some on-campus and off-campus drives that are happening. So just subscribe to this channel to receive all of those notifications. So that's one. The second thing that we request all of you to do is share this video with your friends, and especially friends who are probably in their final year, probably searching for jobs. They can implement these projects very easily, and these projects will be very useful for them when they are going for an interview. So these are just two requests from you, and now we'll start with the topic for today. So the topic that we have for today is this: that if we are given, or rather the topic for today is that we want to create a time zone converter using Python. What exactly is a time zone converter and what do we want to do with that? I'll share with you right away. But we want to create a time zone converter using Python, and that's what we're going to do today. Just to give you an example, let's say I am currently over here. So let's say, I have this time over here, which is like 12th March 2019. All right, just a random selected time, and the time is 14:42. What would this time be if I were in Delhi, if I were in London, if I was in Cairo, or if I was in Sydney, in any one of these cities? So for those of you who don't know, Delhi is obviously in India, London is in the UK, the United Kingdom, Cairo is in Egypt, Sydney is in Australia. How do I come to know that if the current time is 2:42 or 14:42? How do I know what is the time in all of these other cities or countries? Now you might be thinking, this is easy to do if we know which country this time is of. So the time we mentioned here above, which country does that belong to? Well, it belongs to London. So the given time to you is something called UTC or London, which is basically the central time. If we have the central time, we know what time is already what it is in London. So we already know what time it is probably over here in London. But how do we find out what is the time in Delhi, in Sydney, and in Cairo? So that is what we're going to discuss today, and that is the mini project that we're going to do today. And as usual, we will not only just do the project, as I won't just show you the code, I will actually also show you how to implement this particular thing on the Edyst platform. And we'll show you a few code, and you can go ahead, extend it, do how much ever you want. So that will be great. So before that, a quick recap about Python and how you can use Python to do this time zone conversion. So let me just do a quick recap for you. We've discussed earlier that why you should choose Python as your programming language. If you're a fresher, if you're somebody who's in fourth year, if you're somebody who's reached your final year, if you've already graduated, why you should choose Python as your language to actually go ahead and code. And so the reason why you should choose Python is, one, it is really easy to learn. Unlike Java or C++, where the syntax is really hard, here it's very much like English, and you will see that today, that there are so many easy things that you can do with which, like, for example, time zone conversion, or yesterday as we had discussed how to generate passwords. It's very easy to do these things using Python just by using some simple syntax. So that's point number one. Point number two is all of these careers that I've mentioned over here: web development, machine learning, data analytics, even game development. Any of these careers that you want to get into, this is possible by Python. Just by learning the basics and some advanced concepts of Python, your life opens up to any of these careers. In a market where jobs are really there, that you have very good software jobs, learning Python is a brilliant way to know that you are eligible for many, many more jobs. So if there is anybody out there who's not yet convinced of which language to choose, my humble suggestion is choose Python. It will be really beneficial for you because you can go into any of these careers, and it's really easy and fun to learn, as we will see in just a moment. So that's my advice to all of you who have yet to start, and those of you who have started, who want to know how to get a job, please just keep asking us on the chat, and our team is online and they'll help you out with that. All right, so this is about Python and why you should choose Python. And I'll do a quick recap of one or two concepts that we covered earlier that will be used today. So I'll do a quick recap of that. Those of you who've already been seeing the videos before, just wait about 2-3 minutes. In 2-3 minutes, we are going to cover what we covered previously, and then we'll move on with today's concept. So earlier, we had seen how to do a print command in Python. So in Python, it's very simple. You just type print and the word comes out. So for example, if I type this print and then hello world in the brackets, then I'm going to get an output over here called hello world. So this is what I'm going to get. Um, but this is one thing that we saw yesterday, and really this is all we sort of need to print our time zones today. So we are going to keep this in mind. This is the first thing we're going to keep in mind. The second thing we're going to keep in mind is how to take input in Python. So when you type input, the way you should be taking input in Python is by using the input function, which is this input brackets. If you do this, what it's going to do is it's going to ask for all of the inputs that from the user. So for example, if the input enters the word cool, then it's going to store that word cool into this word. And when you print word, you get this output cool. So that's what it does. It will ask for input from the user and it will print that input. Now, the problem with this, or the thing we have to remember, is this input will always take things as a string or a text format. So it will not know, for example, if you just did input and 412 was the input, let's say 412 was the input, it will treat this 412 as a text. If you specifically want to treat this as an integer, the way you should do it is number is equal to int input. We covered this in the previous webinars, but I just want to revise this for you so that you know how to actually do the time zone conversion. So what we have over here is, if you want to take a number as an input and you want to store it as an integer, then you should do it as int input. That's it. And then that will now be stored into number. All right, so let's come back to our problem statement. That's it for our recap. Literally, these are the only two previous concepts you need to know how to do time zone conversion. And as we go forward, I will explain two more concepts today that will be required for this time zone conversion. So all in all, just four Python concepts are required for you to do this time zone conversion. And trust me, you can take this project and even put it on your resume and talk to the interviewer about it. It's going to be great. All right. So that's what we're going to do right now. Now, how do we go about converting things over here? Let's look at some of the input format that we're going to get. Well, what we have over here is, we saw earlier that we want to convert this date into the different dates that are going to be present everywhere else. Now, before we start, any date in Python in an ISO format, so this is the internationally agreed format. The internationally agreed format is something like this over here. Now, what do I mean by this format? What is this? It might look really complicated. A lot of you will be scared thinking, oh no, this is a big thing. You said Python is easy. Trust me, this is very simple. Just follow along and I'll tell you what it means. In the ISO format, what's really happening is the first few words or the alphabets are the date. So as you can see, it is 2019 is the year, 3 is the month, that is 3rd is March, and 12th is the date. So this is nothing but in the year 2019, the month is 3 and the date is 12. So 12th March is represented like this. This T is telling you that time is followed after this. So it's just T over here. And then you have the time in 24 hours format, that is 14:42:00. And this +0 tells you the time zone. So +0 basically means London, because London is +0. If you had plus 5:30, then you would have Delhi. So just breaking down this ISO format, we have a date, we have the time, and we have the time zone. Our goal right now is, given a date, can we convert it properly into the correct time and also display the correct time zones in each of these cities? So that is our current aim right now. Now let's go back. We were told that we're going to get some input. What is that input and how do we convert that input into the time zone? We'll have a look right now. So what I'm going to do is the exact problem statement. I'm going to open it up on the Edyst platform, which all of you can also see. So when you open up the Edyst platform in the intro and advanced Python course, this is what you get to see. So I'll just show you the steps on how you can sign up for something like this. Second. Right. So what you have over here is the Python website. So once you click here, that is, you will land up on this page if you go to the following link. So if you go to the link mentioned below over here, bit.ly/edyst_python, it's also mentioned in the description. If you go to that link, then you are going to open up this page. In this page, you are going to see an apply now button. Click that apply now. Your first module will be completely free. Once you click that apply now, you will end up on this page. So on this page is where you will get a playground with free tutorials. Once I click that playground, I'm going to get all of this free stuff that I can do and watch. This is the challenge that we are doing today. That is the time zone converter challenge. So let's open that question and see what is the kind of input that we are going to get. So we have here a big project description, right? And it says we have to create a time zone converter that does the following. It takes as input the following. It will take as input a year, a month, the day, the hour, and the minute. It's going to take input all of these things. I'll just zoom in so all of you can see. So it's going to take input year, month, day, hour, and minute. These are all of the inputs in UTC, and we have to print the current time in Cairo, London, New Delhi, and Sydney in the ISO format. All right, so that's what we have to do. So just to summarize it again over here, if I was given the following time, so 1 second, right? So if I just come back to the slides, if I'm given the following time format over here, in input, what I would actually be given is an input like this: 2019, 3 for the day, for the month, 12 for the date, 14 for the hour, and 42 for the minutes. That is the exact input that I would be given. And let's just verify that on the platform. So I'm just going to the platform and we'll just verify it there. This is the input that we get: 2019, 03, 12, 14, 42, which is the year is 2019, the month is 03, the date is 12, the hour is 14, and it is 42. And the output we're supposed to give is Cairo time is, and this is the standard ISO format. If you look at it, London time is exactly what the input is. It is 2019, 03, 12, and then 14, 42, 0000. As we discussed earlier, this is the date, this is the time, and this is the time zone. In New Delhi, the time would then be something like 8:12 or something, so 2012, right? So this is what we are supposed to do. So what we're going to do is we are going to be given this input. Our first job has to be to actually take the input. So this is our first step over here, that we are going to first take all of the input that is coming in. And when we say we take input, we are going to take input the year, the month, date, and what else? Hour and minute. So that's all of the input that we're going to take. That's the first thing. Then we are going to convert this. These all will be integers. We are going to convert this into a date time, and I'll show you how to do this. Don't worry too much about this. We're going to convert this into date time. Then we are going to use something to generate all of the different time zones. Then the date time that we created, we are going to convert those into the correct time zone and store them. And finally, we'll print the time. We'll do this one by one so that you understand that what's happening. And the way we are going to do this, we're going to use two libraries called the PyTZ library. That's nothing but Py time zone library, Python time zone, and the date time library. These are the two things that we're going to use today. Now, I don't want to keep talking theoretical, so let me start coding and show you what exactly I mean when I talk about this. Alright, so I'm just going back to the coding and I'll show you one by one what we're going to do over here. So the first thing that we're going to do is as I said, we are going to use the PyTZ and the datetime library, right? So we're going to use that. So the way we are going to do that is we use something called import. This is nothing but it's telling Python, you know what, PyTZ and datetime have some functions that I want to use, so I'm just importing them. If you don't understand the import function, it's completely fine. For now, just use this. Okay, then what we're going to do is we have to take input first the year, then the month, then the day, then the hour, and then the minute. So let's do that. We have year is equal to int input, right? As we just saw that this is the way to take the input. Then we have month is equal to int input, day is equal to int input, and so on. So int input, all right, day is equal to int input, and hour is equal to int input, and what else, we have the minute is equal to int input. So we took all of this input from the user, right? That's what we did. Now the first thing that we want to do is these are different integers. These are not actually a date. We want to convert them into a date first, and then we can do any manipulation we want on that. So let's first convert it to a date. How do you convert it to a date? I'll show you. So let me write a comment over here, converting to a date. So a comment is nothing but a comment. The computer will not understand this comment. It's just for us to understand. The way you convert to a date is, let's say we'll store it in user's time. So the user's given time is this, and the way we convert to a date is use the date time library that we did. So this is the syntax, date time dot date time, and we just have to enter year, month, date, hour, minute. That's it. So this now makes a date. So user's time now stores the date format. And if we want to see what that actually is, the simple thing we can do is we can actually just print it. So users underscore time dot ISO format, because we want to print it in the ISO underscore format. So let us try printing this in the ISO format, right? One second, it is not defined. All right, we use day over here, not date. So let's just make it. All right, and let us run this code. So our output that we've got over here is an ISO format. Ignore the expected output for now, but the output we've got over here is an ISO format. And as you can see, we took the input 12/3/2019 and the year, hour, minute, but when we print it, it gets printed in the ISO format. The way to do that is you take the time and do .iso format. All right, great. So now that we have taken the user's time and converted it into a date time, how do we convert this date time into the respective time zones? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the first time zone that we need to convert it to, and just refreshing your memory. What are the time zones that I'm supposed to convert it to? I'm supposed to convert it to Delhi, London, Cairo, and Sydney. Let me start with Cairo. Right? Let me start by printing the time zone for Cairo. So how do we do this? How do we convert a date time of a certain time to another time zone? Now let me show how you can do that. There are basically two steps involved in this. 1 minute. Yeah. So there are two steps involved in this. The first step is you have to, let me just bring up the platform. Yeah. So the first step that you have to do is you have to generate the Cairo time zone, and then you are going to convert the user's time into the Cairo time zone, and then you're going to print it. So take the Cairo time zone, convert the user's time zone into the Cairo time zone, and print the time. So this is what we're going to do. Second, yeah. So what we're going to do is first generate the Cairo time zone. The way we can do that is Cairo underscore time zone is equal to, remember we use the PyTZ library. This is nothing but this PyTZ dot time zone. It will get the time zone of whichever country you tell it to get. So the way we should do it is, it has a very standard syntax. To get Cairo syntax, what you need to do is Africa slash Cairo. So now it automatically got the time zone in which Cairo is in. You don't need to do anything. That's the beauty of Python. This library will handle everything else. So if you do Cairo underscore time zone is equal to pytz, this is the time zone library, dot time zone, Africa slash Cairo. We got the time zone. Now let's try to convert the user's time that we have over here into this given time zone. Now this syntax is a little bit long, so just follow along and you'll understand what's happening. Let's take that Cairo time is equal to, what's the first thing we're going to do? We're first going to take user's time and then convert it to the Cairo time zone. Now user's time is in what? The user's time is given to us in UTC. That's given in the question, that the current time that is over here is given as a UTC. This above time will be in UTC. So the way the syntax works is Cairo underscore time is equal to pytz dot UTC dot localize. All right, and I'll explain what this means. So what we're going to do is we're going to take users underscore time. What this does is it takes the user's time and converts it into a UTC time, because we know that the user's time is a UTC time. So we're going to take this user's time, convert it to a UTC time, and UTC is nothing but the GMT, or rather the time at London. That is taken to be the standard, that is taken to be the center point. So you have pytz.utc.localize, which is nothing but in Python time zone. What we're going to do is convert this user's time to UTC, and then once we have that, we are again going to localize this as time zone. Which time zone? Cairo's time zone. So that's really it. If you just want to memorize it, you can memorize. We are going to take this Python time zone library, localize this user's time to UTC, and then we are going to convert that using as time zone, Cairo's time zone. We're going to do that. So Cairo time is that, and then what we need to do is print it. That's it. So we all know that if we print Cairo time like this, Cairo underscore time dot ISO format, it's going to print in an ISO format. We just need to print some words before it, which is Cairo time is, and then we are done. So we'll print those words over here. Cairo time is, that's it. So print Cairo time is Cairo underscore time dot ISO format, right? Let's just print this and see, does it print the Cairo time properly or not. So our output right now is this. Okay, it's because we have not printed all of the outputs, it will still show us the wrong answer. But look at Cairo time. It says Cairo time is 20190312 1642 plus 0200. 1642 plus 0200. That's exactly the Cairo time for this current given time. So we have got it for Cairo time. All we need to do right now is to get it for the other time zones. And so let's do that one by one. What is the other time? London time is the other time. So let's do that. If you want to get London time, we already know that it is London underscore time zone. In fact, for London time, what we can do is just print the user's time, because we know that London time is the user's time. So let's just do London time is users underscore time dot ISO format, because we know that the user's time is already in London format. So let us run it and see, is it printing? So it's printing London time and it's printing 1442, but it's not printing the time zone properly. So let us convert it to UTC and then also print the time zone, right? So that's what we're going to do. Let me just get that up. So London time zone would be London underscore time zone is equal to pytz under dot time zone UTC, right? So that's London's time zone. Which are the other ones that we want to do? New Delhi and Sydney. So for Delhi underscore time zone equals to pytz dot time zone. Now, how do you, this is the interesting part about Python. India's time zone is not stored in Delhi, it's stored in Kolkata actually. So because we follow the same time across the country, we are okay with it, but it's stored in Kolkata, it's not actually stored in Delhi. So we do pytz.time zone Asia slash Kolkata, and Sydney time zone is equal to pytz dot time zone, and we have Australia slash Sydney. Now you might be wondering how I know all of these codes by heart. I don't really know the codes by heart. I looked them up before I came for the session. What I'll do is I'll share a link with you in the description about all of the time zones and where you can find all of these time zones. So now that we have got the time zones for each, let's generate the time at each. So we have Cairo time. Let's now generate for the other one. So let's say London time. All right. So for London time is equal to pytz dot localize user time as time zone London underscore time zone. All right. Then for Delhi underscore time, it's equal to users time as time zone Delhi underscore time zone. And for Sydney time, Sydney underscore is equal to users time as time zone Sydney underscore time zone. So I'm just looking at my spellings. It all looks correct right now. All right. So we have this. Now we printed Cairo time is, London time is. What else do we need to print? New Delhi time is and Sydney time is. Okay. So it's capital key, right? And print. What's the next? New Delhi. New Delhi time is, and just give a comma. And what we're going to do is going to replace this. All right, and then we're going to do Delhi underscore time dot ISO format, and I'm going to print Sydney time is, and we have over here Sydney underscore time dot ISO format, right? Oops, wrong spelling. All right, so this should pretty much solve all of our problems. And let me just click run and see if we are facing any errors right now. Okay, Sydney time, okay, it's not defined. I gave a wrong spelling, so that's over here. Sydney time is, okay. Okay, our test case is passed. So exactly this is the input that was given to us, 2019, 03, 12, 14, 42. And we have here Cairo time is, London time is, New Delhi time is, and Sydney time is. So looks correct, looks about correct. Let us see if it passes all of the test cases. And so let me just submit and check. All right. And yep, it does pass all of the test cases. Hooray. All right, that's great. So you all can also go ahead and try this. You have the exact solution that I've shared. You can just try it over here. Challenge number 2, time zone converter. You know, it's over here, so you can just check it out. Not too difficult to do, but one of the key things I want you all to remember. So let me just recap what we've covered so far today. Yeah. So what we covered so far is you took input the year, time, date, everything, etc. Created a datetime object out of it so that we can then manipulate that object. We got all of the time zones. How do you get exact time zones? Let's say if I have to get the time zone in Dubai, or I have to get the time zone in San Francisco. How do I find out the exact time zone? There's a simple input that you have to give to pytz. So that pytz is going to get you that time zone, and that input I will share in the description below. Each country and each time zone has such a code for itself. For India, it's Asia slash Kolkata. For London, it was UTC. For Cairo, we saw it's Africa slash Cairo, and so on. So each country or each continent has this own thing for itself. So we created a date time, we got all the time zones, then we converted all of the we converted the user's time to each of these time zones, and then we stored it. And then finally we printed the time in ISO format. So there you have it. Given a date with the year, time, and everything, how do you get the time in all of these other time zones? It's a really fun thing to do. The best part is there are some things that you can do on top of this. So you can now take input from the user, which time zone they want it in. So let's say they can give an input, I want an Asia slash Kolkata. You just need to substitute that value and you can give that input output back. So the user can decide which time zone that they want it in. So that's the other thing that you could do. So that's the summary of what we did today. It's a cool mini project to do. If you have any questions, please post it on the chat and I'll just get to the questions in just a bit. But it's a really cool thing to do to get started with. We yesterday we did a password generator. Today we have done a time zone converter. These are some cool mini projects that you can do. Put it up on your GitHub, share on your resume. Any interviewer will love to talk to you about these things. So go ahead, try these out yourself. Try them out on the Edyst platform. I am online on the Edyst platform if you are feeling, if you have any doubts regarding this specific thing. So yes, we're going to like stop right now and wait for any questions that you might have. Our team is online. They've been listening attentively to any of the questions. So do let us know if you have any questions and we'll be more than happy to help. Meanwhile, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and share this channel with all of your friends, especially those friends who are looking for some cool projects to do to get a job.
The first question we have is you spoke about the time zone converter. What are some of the other practice projects, mini projects, which will look good on a resume?
All right, so I spoke about a time zone converter, but what are some of the other projects that will look really cool on a resume? Number one, password generator will look really, really cool. So we did that yesterday. Just go to the webinars that we have done yesterday. The link is below, all on this channel. So you will get that password generator. That's a cool project to do. The other cool project that you can do is the one we discussed today, a time zone converter. Then some other things that you could do is a temperature converter. So there are many units of temperature. How do you convert from one to another? You can do and not just a temperature converter, but a whole units conversion. So how do you convert kilogram into grams into centigrams? How do you convert centimeter cube into liter and so on? So that's a cool thing to do. Another cool thing is how do you calculate EMI? So a lot of people are doing e-commerce these days. You're shopping online. Before you shop, you just want to see, hey, if I buy this thing for 20,000 rupees, how much will I have to pay in EMI? So if I do an EMI installments in 6 months, every month, how much do I have to pay? So that also can be built using Python. And subscribe to this channel. That's one of the next projects that we're going to do about how do you build an EMI planner using Python.
One of our participants is asking what is ISO format.
Okay, so somebody's asking what exactly is an ISO format. So ISO format is nothing but the universally standard, the universally accepted format in which everybody, is, everybody accepts. So if you give an ISO date time to any system, it's going to understand. It is very crucial to have a, what do you say, a standardized way. For example, if I tell you 12th March and you say 12th day of March, right? Or you could just say 12/3/2019. These are all different formats. And if you give this to a computer, it has to write many checks to see which format is the correct format. Rather, what everybody has done in computers is they've made this one ISO format, which if everybody follows that format, that is the correct format to follow. Any other format is a wrong format. So that's why they've created an ISO format so that everybody follows a particular standard.
A couple of questions. They say we are familiar with C, C++, or Java, and if you want to make projects like this in those languages, what is your advice?
Okay, so some of the good questions are that we are already familiar with C, C++, and Java, and we want to make this project in those languages. Well, the kind of stuff that we've discussed today is very difficult for you to do again in C and C++. The reason is you'll have to learn a lot more. So today we just covered this entire code in about 30 or 40 lines. The same code, if you were trying to do it in Java or C++, would easily be 100 or 150 lines, which means that it is possible to do. It will take you a lot of time. So my advice is, if you already know C, C++, Java, or if you've done some of that, learning Python is really easy. In fact, I myself learned C, C++ first and then moved to Python, and it was so simple to pick up because the words, the syntax is very much like English. So I suggest that, even if you are really good at those languages, try to pick up Python and do this project in Python. It will be much more easier for you. There are much better libraries that you can use for this.
Very basic question, but very right. Probably they joined the video in the middle. You keep mentioning libraries. What are these libraries?
Okay, very, very good. Some of you who might have joined in the middle might have asked, I'm mentioning some libraries. What exactly are libraries? So, at your level, I just want to tell you that today we used two libraries. These two libraries are the PyTZ and the DateTime library. These are the two libraries that we've used today. At your level, I just wanted to understand that these libraries basically have some very special functions in them. So, for example, the PyTZ library involves all of the time zone related things. The date time involves all of the date time related things you have to do in Python. So there is a library called math. So if you use a math library, then you can start doing a lot of complex mathematical calculations. And so on. So there are many such libraries in Python that are built specifically for your needs. There is a machine learning library, there is a web development library. So these libraries are basically, they have some special functions in them that allow you to process faster. You don't have to write those functions again.
Couple of questions, generic questions. Which reading reference material should we follow to get better at Python?
All right, so which material should I follow to get better at Python? The best part about Python is that all of the material is online. So even if you ask the best of Python developers, everybody says that they learned online because the language is like that. The language follows a lot of online instruction. It does not have like an official textbook or anything. So Python has an official documentation. Read that, it's completely online. The other thing is that if you just want to read and you're not really that much of a video person, on the Edyst platform itself, we have a lot of reading tutorials with a lot of examples of Python code. So you can check that out also.
Follow-up question. You keep mentioning come to the Edis platform and practice. Can you tell us where do we
Right.
practice?
So, a common question a lot of you have is, I did this entire code on the Edyst platform. How do you actually get into the Edyst platform? So again, for those of you who missed it, let me just replay that again for you. What you need to first do is the link mentioned below over here. It has bit.ly/edyst underscore Python. You just need to go to that link. Once you go to that link, you will end up at this page. So, and let me just open up that page for you so that you know which page it is. Second. All right. So you'll end up on this page when you go to yeah. So when you go to Edyst, bit.ly/edyst underscore Python, you will come to this page. On this page, you will see an apply button. The moment you click apply, you will be asked to log in via Google or Facebook. Once you log in by Google or Facebook, you will see the following page. You will see the different modules of Python that are over here that we have designed. And the first module is completely free for you to do. In fact, in the first module, you have about 20 tutorials that you can just watch and do. And the thing that we discussed today, the time zone converter, is mentioned over here. So yesterday's challenge, that was the password generator, is mentioned first, and then the time zone converter is mentioned here, which is the second thing. And we'll keep releasing many more free challenges for you to do on the Edis platform.
A couple of last two questions. One of the questions they're asking is when we sit in interviews in any other TCS, Wipro, Infosys, and so on, so will they ask any language specific questions?
All right, so a very good question is, when I sit in a TCS, Wipro, Infosys interview, what kind of questions are they going to ask me? Are they going to ask me specifically as per C or C++? Well, the answer to this is two things. Number one, when it comes to asking you a very logical and a coding question, they are going to ask you which language you are comfortable in. So if you say I am comfortable in Python, then you can actually answer all of the questions on Python and you're through. The second type of questions, they might ask you some syllabus related questions. So if you are a CSE engineer and in your first and second year you had C++ and Java, these are technically in your syllabus. And if it's in your syllabus, they can ask you that. If you are a core student and if you didn't have Java in your syllabus, if you didn't have Python in your syllabus, if you didn't have C++ in your syllabus, then they are not going to ask you that. So if you're a core student, they're only going to ask you very specific questions about the language you are most comfortable with. If you are a CS student and you had in your syllabus first or second year C++ or Java, then they are going to ask you about those questions.
I think it's a generic question, but so rightly asked every time. When you keep mentioning Java fundamentals and Java advanced, what exactly is that and how long will it take?
Okay, so when we keep talking about Python fundamentals and Python advanced things, what do I mean by that, and how long will it take? So if you go to the same link mentioned below, that is bit.ly/edist_python. If you go to that link, and again I'll just show it up so that everybody can see it. So in that link we have a bunch of topics for you to look at. So if I just go down here, if you just go and check the syllabus, there is something called Python introduction and there's something called Python advanced. Whenever you're talking about learning Python, these two are the basic fundamentals that you should know. On top of this, if you go for frameworks, then you will have a good project as well. So for frameworks, you can just go to edyst.com and check that. But these two things, the intro and advanced, intro covers all of your logic building things, and advanced covers things like object-oriented programming, data structures, and so on. This intro plus advanced covers all of your Python fundamentals. Once you clear these Python fundamentals, to do a project, you need to learn a framework. And if you know a framework, then you are really, really ready for good software jobs.
Of course, it's the last question as always. What are the next set of videos we can
All right,
expect?
so the last question for the day is, what are some of the next videos we can expect? So tomorrow and day after, we are doing a special video series on Cognizant off-campus drives, and especially Cognizant has a specific question type called Automata Fix. So we are going to be talking about that. Stay tuned for that. You will receive the notification for that. If you want to receive the notification, remember to subscribe. So please click the subscribe button to receive the notification. So that's the first thing. The second thing that we are going to do is, around next week, we are going to continue the Python mini project series. So by the end of this series, you will have at least 5 mini projects that you can put all on your resume and also on your GitHub profile. And we'll do one of the webinars to show you how do you even upload a project to your GitHub profile. So those are some of the upcoming things. If you find this exciting, please share it with your friends, subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to leave a comment or tell us on chat what are some of the topics you want us to cover. We'll be more than happy to listen from you. If you have a specific topic to cover, we'll cover that as well. So I think that's it. We're going to wrap up right now. Thank you so much, everybody, for being online, for being part of this Python mini series. It's been great to have you, and do stay tuned tomorrow for more and more off-campus drive interview questions and preparation for that. All the best, everybody. Looking forward to seeing each and every one of you on the Edyst platform. Thank you so much.